All right, let's go to the next task for our is Java lab task. This is, I think, the last task in the um, assignment I have given to you. So this task you need to complete, but I would like to explain this task. Electricity billing system, right? This is like a demonstration of the Java concepts, complete Java concepts, oops concepts. Like we have interfaces, we have inheritance, demonstration of interfaces, inheritance, encapsulation, method overriding. That's an example of runtime polymorphism, constructors, typecasting, what we have learned, and some calculation based methods. Some base methods are there, right? Some written methods and doing some calculation. There is a real time scenario here. Saudi Electricity Company. I think we have changed this company to Saudi Energies, right? So anyhow, I've used the previous name here. Saudi Electricity Company. Calculate the customer electricity bill based on the customer type. Now, a company is providing electricity services, right? So based on the, there are two types of customers for this company. Residential company, uh, residential means for homes, basically homes. Commercial for means business people, right? So for home they have different charges, different calculations, different logics of calculations, and commercial they have different calculation of charges, right? So billing system is a bit different, okay, for both the things. Depends upon the types of customers. So let's see this one. There are billing rules. What are the rules? It is given here. For residential, for example, if you consume 0 to 200 units, it will charge 0.18 Saudi Riyal per unit. Okay, and above 200 units, it is costing means 201. So 0 to 200 means it is less than or equal to 200. Okay, and is greater than 200, that is okay. So it will charge you 0.30 Saudi per unit, and they are adding a tax of 15% to the bill. Similarly, now this is same thing. This is for residential. The price is different. Okay, the flat rate, there is no conditions, they are directly giving flat rate irrespective of units consumed. It will charge you the 0.32 Saudi Riyal per unit and added the tax. So this is flat rate. Okay, so these are the billing rules, a billing process for residential customer and commercial customer. So what is the requirement? How do you write the code here? So now these are the 5 steps. This all 5 courses, 5 programs here, 5 steps. Each step is one program, right? So create an interface, name billable with method calculate bill and calculate VAT, right? Program is given here. Okay, the whole program is also here inside. Okay, so but here I will, let me show you this one by one. Okay, so there is an interface called billable here. So there are different approach. How do you write the program? By for in real time you need to write a separate class for separate program, class or interface as a separate file. But for exam point of view, you can write in the same file, doesn't matter, right? You can use in that case you have to provide the main class name as a main source file name. That will be better. So my case is electricity billing app system, or whatever the name is given here, right? So electricity billing or system. So this is my file name. So in this file name I have all these program in same file, or you can create different files. Okay, so it's up to you. But for exam point of view, I want my, this is my preference, right? So easy to run the program. Okay, anyway, um, let's go with individually, right? So this is billable. So I will go with the first thing is um, week 7. Let me create a package here. Source package, new Java package, week 7, right? So there is no space. I can say oops. Okay, so in this one, right click, new. First one is what? Create an interface. It is an interface, right? So we have directly an interface. Let me close this part. So right click, new interface, Java interface, right? So create a class interface and give the name billable. So finish it. You got the interface here. right? Now go to the definition. With methods calculate bill and calculate VAT. So it's like you're calculating something, so when you have a calculation, always return the calculate value. See, whenever payment calculations, it always return the result. So you need to think about this one. Now the question will be, you have to understand the question, you need to think logically, right? So it will return some value. So basically you need to put this is interface here, right? I can say here public void. So what is the method? It is given here, calculate bill. So it will calculate bill, and interface, the all methods are abstract by default. Okay, so it's not white, it is bill is calculating, it is returning the bill, so it should be a double, right? So same case, public double. What is the method here? Calculate VAT, semicolon. So you have a design, a template of interface billable, electricity billable, right? So that has two abstract methods, calculate bill and calculate VAT. So this method will calculate the bill, and this method will calculate the VAT. We'll see the definition, further change. What is the definition of next thing? Okay, all right, so this is what I did here. Okay, this part is done. Step 1 program done. Now class definition is create a class here. Create an abstract class customer with name, id, name and units field, right? So let's create a class. So there is no abstract class here, like you need to create here, right click on the same package. There is no abstract here, just you need to create a class. So you just give the name customer. Okay, remove the unnecessary code. Make this class abstract. Sorry. Now let's see abstract. Abstract, when I say abstract here, id, name, units. This is units, is this units, this is integer number, right? So integer id number of the customer. Who is the customer? Customers are residential and a commercial. So anyone, any customer, right? You can say here string name and id is the customer id, right? So you see id, I can say customer id, and int units consumed, right? So abstract class, this is error here, abstract class recorded. Okay, did I do something? No, I think it's good, looks good. Okay, let's see, let me finished. Okay, so because this abstract class, okay, so we need to create the constructors and everything. Insert code is given here, so we need to initialize the values, customer name, id, initialize the units which is coming from the customer, right? What type of customer here, and it has a method display customers, right? Maybe is missed here, there is a method here, display customer. This is missing here, question, in the question. Okay, right. Display customer to display to print to show the customer details. All right, so that's the thing here. So display customer. When I say display, is basically is wide, pub public wide display customer, right? This is now for what are you printing? You need to print by adding this one. So is it something I'm missing here? Class public abstract. Yes, I forgot public. That's the thing here. Public class. Then you need to add the insert code. The no segregator, only constructor, parameterized constructor. Select all. Click. So it will create this customer. When you create object, it will automatically initialize the values here, right? So now display, you are displaying here as out, or you can say here name. Just print the name, right? Just say name. Now you print it. Name, customer ID, CID, and units consumed. How much units you consumed? You utilize or consume. You write it. Okay. So these three fields are written here. So that's the thing. That's mapping. Now that's it here. You just see here name, ID, units, and this is done. This is done up to here, right? So next is implementation. Now because this is also abstract here. All right. So implementation. Now go with the second task. Next task is here. Create a residential customer class extending customer and implementing the billable. So you need to create an implementation class. There is a class called residential. You need to create two classes. One is residential for handling the residential services. Another is commercial customer for handling the commercial customer charges, right? So this one, right? So here the methods are not given here. Okay, so it is given here inside. Did you see here the diagram? That's why it is not written there. It is written here. The diagram is given here clearly. Okay, so here you see the diagram. Here I say double. So if I give the diagram, it's okay. You can see the diagram. That will helpful. Otherwise, I will give more description clearly. Okay, no need to worry. Now the residential customer has calculating bill and calculating VAT. Commercial bill customer has this is two classes. Okay, this is abstract class and this is interface. The abstract class is also I will also referring to the interface. Okay, so these two are implementing this and abstract class, extending the abstract class and implementing the interface. So that's what here is given here. Create a residential class extending customer and implementing billable, right? How do you do this one? So let's go with this one. Create a class, new class. So this is, you need to copy the name residential. Let's go to the residential first, paste, right? And finished. You got this one. You see here. Now extending, EXTEND extends customer to access the customer data. Implements, this is important, implements billable interface and extend this one and implement this one. Now you say here residential customer is not abstract and does not override abstract method calculate VAT in billable. So actually there are two methods in interfaces. Okay, so you need to override this method. You need to override this method in the implementation class whenever your class is implementing. So whatever the methods in the interface, you see here interface, click interface, it has two methods here. It must be implemented in the interface, in the class, right? How do you write it here? Okay, so you just write here, very simple here, right click, insert code, implement methods. It will generate the methods here. So but for this one again you need to create a abstract for this part. For the right click, insert constructor also for providing the name ID for the customer here. Okay, so this is done, this two topics done, but here you need to remove the additional code which is not necessary. Still there is an error because of return statement. There is a return because this is returning some value here, so we'll write the code here. So okay, so it's good. Okay, let's see the code here, right? What is the code for residential? If the units is 0 to 200, return the consumed units with this value, right? So this is, you see here, you got the units, you see you got the units here, right? Calculate bill. So the calculate bill, actually you see here, does it take the values? Actually it should take the value here, you see these three values, calculate bill units, right? So this is the formula here. If the units is greater than 0 and less than or equal to 200, this is the bill. Now you're calculating bill, right? So some value here, variable here. So here if units is less than or equal to less than or 0 or less than 0 or should be greater than, actually should be greater than 0 and units less than or equal to 200. Give some space for more readability. Okay, then what is the bill? I can say bill, I'm taking one variable here, bill, residential bill. Okay, I can say residential bill, R bill. Okay, is equal to units consumed, how much units consumed, multiply what is the value here, it is given here 0.18, right? It is given in the book, right, in the task. So this value is here. Else if, right, else if units greater than 200, R bill is equal to 0. Units multiply 0.30. So you need to declare the R bill here, right? So this is a this is useful, you know, because you want to calculate here outside, you declare here R, declare outside and here. So this is R double R bill equal to 0, initialize with 0. If there is no units, it will give directly 0 here. So that's one thing here. Then return, final statement is return R bill, right? This will return residential bill. Now calculate the tax. Tax is what? How much tax? 15% of bill. Return R bill, I can say tax. Let's put the tax here. Again, declare the tax better, comma, tax initially 0. Now you calculate the tax. Tax equal to, you have bill, multiply 0.15, 15%. Now return tax. Now you got the, so that's a residential value here. So you got, see, you are extending the customer here and implementing the billable, and you have a constructor because you are already extending. Whenever you extend a super class, you must have constructor here, then you have to provide the constructor. Now in this case, what is your this constructor helps to initialize the values, directly passing whenever you're creating object here, right? So I hope you understand the code. Okay, so let's see, compare this one, return bill and tax return. You can directly multiply with bill, and that's also one possible. Okay, right away. Right now, same case with commercial customer. I will skip this part. It is the same code, the logic is different, very simple logic. I will skip this code, I will go with only one. Okay, only one class. The next class, I mean, you need to do the second class, right? I will go with the last main class here. Okay, so that's the main class. Let's see, that's important here. So you need to have one more commercial customer, right? So right click here, a new main class. I can say billing app or billing system, whatever you write it here. It's a main class, right? So go to the main class, main class. Now in the main class, it is given here the question. Read the question here. Create a commercial. This is done. Okay, the same thing. The way you created the same, the logic is different. Now here, create billing app to test the program using billable reference. You need to create a billable reference. You need to create a reference variable of for this interface holding the object of this one. Again, you need to create another reference variable holding the object of referring the object of commercial customer, right? So how do you do this part here? So here first you need to create billable RB reference variable for residential billable. Okay, so this is a reference variable. For now, this is a reference variable, this one, and comma commercial billable. Two things we need to create, but at this moment I have only residential customer. Okay, but I created two. For this is one when you add the commercial customer. Okay, so at this moment it's not necessary for me, so I'll go with one object here. Right now this RB is what it is holding the residential customer, right? So new residential customer. Okay, there's something copy here. All right, so where is the error here? Constructor is okay, constructor, of course. So this is okay. Then this residential customer, I'm calling a constructor. You see, creating an object by passing. We need to pass the values. You look at here. We have a residential. You need to pass the name, company ID, and the units, right? So this is coming. Is this coming through the keyboard or scanner or setter getter? It depends. Now at this moment, constructor only. So I just say here name, residential, home guy, personal for homing, for housing. Actually, what is my housing is my home, right? My home, comma the ID number of my home 2222 and the units consumed. I consume 100 units. I consume 100 units. I got this one. Now RB dot, when we say it has two methods. RB, calculate bill, calculate VAT. So it will do the calculate bill and calculate VAT. Okay, so it will calculate the bill. Now this will return the value, right? So you need to say here bill, right? So I can say here I will just create one more variable, double bill equal to bill payment charges, whatever you write it, right? Now again you have double tax. Okay, RB dot calculate tax. You got two values now, right? So you have total bill, example total double total is equal to bill plus tax. You can do directly calculations. Okay, for me I'm going slowly one by one again. But here, how do you print the details? Print the employee details. Print the employee details here. You see we have customer. I want to call this method. This is superclass object, right? So this is superclass object, but this is a reference variable here, right? It's like we need to do round casting. We need to do the casting here again. For example, you have this reference variable. By following the previous example, RB, okay, now for customer, now before we call the method, you see here, let me print out this value, s out, total bill. What is the bill here? Total, TOTL, total, right? Now before this one, calling this one, I can say here one more. I just want to print a lot of many things here. Bill, base bill. What's before tax? You can say before tax, tax, right? So what is it before taxes? Bill, only bill. Then tax, tax, tax. How much? 15%. So here is tax, tax. Now these are all the values. Now before that one, I want to print the details. Before then, you can print these values here. Let me run the code, okay, for you to understand. Run the code. You see, base bill is 18. You have tax 18 point. This is 20.7 something. All right. So this is your bill, but you're not printing the company, your name, your house name, and your ID. You want to print it, the details, right? This is what calculating here. So it depends upon the value here. For example, it is more than 200, the value changed. For example, to 210, the value will change. You just do calculation by your side. Simply calculate 9 point. Tax, this is 72 real. All right, so you can put the real. You want more formatting, right? Right. So this is Saudi real. Okay. All right, so let me print this one. Now by using RB, I cannot call the method. You see, you do not have, with this method cannot be called. This is reverse. It is, this one is implemented by residential. You know, so this billable object is referring to the subclass. This is subclass, class, subclass, extending customer. This is superclass, right? So by using a reference, I want to access the superclass method. I want to access the superclass method. So you need to do the on casting here, casting here. So how do you do this one here? Customer, customer, CUST. Okay, I just say write C equal to, put the customer, and the object is RB. Now you say C dot, it will give you the display customer. Now you see here display customer. That's it. Now the thing, this, the customer will print my home and this value and units, right? These three values. Run the file. You see the more details. My name, customer name. If we want to go with more beautifully, this is customer name, right? And now you're calling the customer name for residential, right? So if you, before that one, you can just say here as out residential uh, billing, right? I just want to print this part. Run the file. Now you see the output here. Residential billing, customer name, customer ID, units consumed 210. What is the base charge? Is 63 real, and the tax is 9.45, and total bill is 72.45. This is a one residential part here, right? So hope this program makes sense, and overview. I just want to conclude this part. We have an interface, two methods, which is clearly given the specification, and a customer class or abstract class. It may be a class or abstract class. It has, there's no abstract methods here. I just want to show you the abstract here, and it has is printing the customer details. It's a constructor. It's a very simple thing, and we have a residential customer. What type of residential and commercial? Now I just created a residential customer, and it is a constructor for this one, and it has two methods too, because it's extending customer and implementing the interface. So if you, whenever it's implementing, just implement the methods of you must override the methods of billable here, right? So both must be written here. So in this one, now it's removing the units, because it can access the units from here, you see. So this is units here, and if unit is greater than 0, less than 200, this is residential units. Okay, same logic you can create for the customer. So it is calculating the bill and calculating the tax. Okay, now you're going to the main method, creating a interface reference variable for residential. So this is for residential. Same thing you need to create for the commercial. You need to create for the commercial. I hope this will make sense and easy to understand. Good luck.